Hey guys, it turns out that I used a Thader brush the other day, and I actually have its counterpart, the one I was comparing it to, with me on this trip. This is the Golden Nib, not premium grade Silvertip Badger. 22 millimeter or 24 millimeter, I can't remember. But it is wonderfully soft, nice soft tips. I don't think these tips are gelling. Well, actually, they look kind of similar to the Thader. It does have one O-ring here at the base, because I think maybe it was just a little too floppy with the current depth setting. I'm also going to be using this vintage Gillette Aristocrat number 16. Something to look for there is a solid handle. This type of knob down here and the gap right here, instead of it being kind of flush, all the same width. The underside is not the diamond shaped bevel, but a kind of a square or flat base plate, and you can see that further here. You've also got the notched center bar, which doesn't have the flanges on the end. Those are some things to be able to tell the different Aristocrats apart. Wonderful, wonderful shaver. And in it, I'm going to put the same razor blade that I used yesterday with the Tech head, the Gillette Platinum. It's got 11 uses on it, so let's put on another one. And we'll just drop it in. Nice, fairly smooth shaver with just a little bit of efficiency built in. Very comfortable always for me, so I expect that will continue. The soap we've got today is the only one that I kind of keep around in a mug. I keep Williams around in a mug too. This is Santal Absolut from Fine Accoutrements. It's a hard puck, and since it's a hard puck, I do soak it before use. And I'm going to pour some of this water in because it's very soapy and it will help our lather to get going. I'm going to pour the rest out. It's been soaking for several minutes. And then my brush is also wet and hasn't really been soaking for too long, but I did get it wet and then set it aside so it's not dry. Okay, and are we ready to go? You know what I'm going to do? Let me put a little water on my face. It's outside today with the kids and got some sun, got some redness on my headness. Shoulders as well. Hopefully it won't be too bad tomorrow. All right. So I'm going to use, this is just tepid water, and it's hard water as usual from this location. All right, I'm going to shake out most of the water from the brush, and then here we go. We'll do a 30-second load starting from right here. And this is one of the first Badgers when I was kind of putting together my own Badgers. I'd buy the cheap DS Cosmetics handles, and I just stuck this Silvertip in there, and I just have been having a great time with it. I've been experimenting with others as well, and so I haven't used it a ton, but I really enjoy it. It's someday, one of these days, I may decide that I just like these soft silver tips better than the firm higher backbone but yet soft tip brushes like Declaration Grooming and those all those finest 2-bands. I mean, that may just not be for me, and that's okay. Everybody's got their shtick. Rinsed out the side of the cup, so keep that clean. And I think I've showed you everything. So let's go ahead and here's a 30-second load. And let's go ahead and start it up. This is a good sandalwood scent. It's not super pure. It does have a nice sandalwood note to it. It also has something that's maybe perfumey or but it's not feminine at all, to me at least. I just love it a lot. I don't know if it's got some oud mixed in, some musk. I don't know. It feels pretty pure, so it must be a scent that's a companion, a complementary scent to the sandalwood. It was pretty soupy at first, but it is turning into the wonderful fine lather that I know and love. I really do enjoy these soaps. They are hard, and they're not the crops. They're made, I think there is some relation to the US, but I think they're made in the Netherlands. Like them. I have most of them. I don't have the lavender because it has like lavender and peppermint both, and that's not me. And then I don't have the orange noir, I believe it is, because there is a D.R. Harris soap that I already have, like maybe Windsor or Arlington, that smells apparently exactly like the orange noir, so I'm not going to be redundant. But I have most of the other ones: fresh vetiver, green vetiver, American Barbershop, or I think it's called American Blend, Platinum. Platinum doesn't have a strong scent. This one does. Platinum, you kind of have to rely on the aftershave to get the scent. But I don't have any of their aftershaves because they all have, I think, menthol in them. And that's not me. Well, this is a wonderful looking lather. And it's just everywhere. Oh, feels good as I rinse it off my fingers. That is some good stuff. I really enjoy how the hard pucks last so long. They're not going to degrade in performance, maybe for decades. See, that is the slickness that I look for in other soaps. It really is. And so often I don't get it. I'm going to refill my syringe. Of course, we're not going to be able to have exact measurements since I took some of the bloom water, soak water, and poured it in. It was probably a teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon if I had to approximate. Gonna have plenty of soap. Show you what we've got going here. Big old wad. Hey, straight hair. This brush is still within like my 50 count use, and so if I see an occasional brush hair, I'm not worried at all. Keeps its shape, drops off in a blob, so potentially I could go with more water. Let's do the pull. Bring it all down and just kind of pull half of the wad up. However, look at those long peaks. Look how they bend as well. Some elasticity there, you know, so it's possible that this might be where I like it. Let's do another. Oh man, that just feels so good. I'm going to keep adding water. Yeah, I have collected a large number of soaps, but the more I use some of my favorites, the more I start to realize that maybe I can do without a whole bunch of others that are just maybe not quite as good. It is a tallow soap. As you can see, it pretty much fits exactly into the Old Spice mug. They sell these cool, they call them soap bowls. It's not a lather bowl. It's just to hold the soap and let you be able to, just like the mug, load the soap onto the brush. And then you either move to your face or another bowl to complete the lathering process. And they're about $12.50 or something like that each. And many of them have color coding matching with the individual soaps, which is kind of neat. They do stack, and I like those. But you can also, since it's a hard soap, what you can do with it and Mitchell's Wool Fat, Arco, any of those truly hard soaps to back, if you have a special container that you want to put it in and it doesn't seem to fit or there's too much gap around it, you just grate it with a cheese grater. Press the shavings into whatever container you want. All right. This lather, look at that. Well, you see that? You see the length there? That is what I'm talking to you about. Very elastic. Look at that. Look at the bowl there. The tips came up, couldn't support their own weight, collapsed. We can do the pull, where we pull part of it. It's just very elastic and malleable. I'm just going to shave with that. I did just take a shower, so my face is pretty clean. I do have oily skin. Sometimes that comes into play by neutralizing a part of a lather's effect on the first pass, but then the rest of them are nice. And let's get a little bit more water on my face and we can start lathering. About a 1-day growth is what we're dealing with. Okay. This is the soap that was in my plan for last year's austere August, because it's just so much my favorite in terms of scent and performance, longevity on the shelf. This is the one, or one of just all-time tops. And I could still see myself adding some water to this, so it will take a lot of water. Oh, a good sandalwood scent. All right. I want to let this sit on my face a little bit, maybe bond with my skin just a little bit more, soften up those hairs by showing you my post shave. I'll probably use this Tuscany. Been using it the last few days. I just think it's a nice general purpose. One that Stirling sent me a sample of with an order of something else, and I liked it so much that I went ahead and bought the whole thing, the full-size version. I haven't regretted it. First I thought it was kind of a wild cherry scent, some spices or something zingy with a cherry, fruity type scent, but then I realized after looking it up online that it's not cherry, it's bergamot and I think orchid, something like that, a floral, a very distinct floral. Well, violet, I think violet. And so apparently those two together kind of give me a cherry impression. Who knew? But I like it. All right. Get the razor wet. I love shaving with these Aristocrats. They are beautiful and they have a very nice mid-range feel. Oh man, that is just cutting through nicely with just no tugging at all. I mean, you do know it's cutting, but it's just wonderful. The 15 is nice. It's a little more aggressive. You do a little more feel, but still very, very enjoyable. But this one's even smoother. glad my face and my neck didn't get any sunburn. There we go. I don't know if I've tried this platinum blade with this razor, but it's terrific. And the first shave is always the one that might give you a little bit of roughness or more blade feel, because the rest, because so much of the hair is gone, the past 2 and 3 are just always smooth. All right, second pass. And I did add a little bit of water to the lather, mixed it in, since I feel like that first pass was maybe a little on the thick side, but it worked well. Nice scent, 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of scent strength. To me, it's not overwhelming. It's not going to get on my nerves. I could definitely shave with this for a while and not get tired of it. And just tremendous secondary slickness. As I'm rinsing that first pass off, just feels luxurious, like it's going to take a while to get that type of just smoothness off. All right. Cross grain now. A lot of glide with this. And this is why I kind of just set out to buy any of the fine Accoutrements soaps that I thought I might enjoy. My understanding is they started this soap company because of tobacco and its excellent performance, but they wanted other scents in it other than the tobacco one, and they wanted that the same sandalwood scent as the vintage tallow formula of the Art of Shaving sandalwood, which is this exact smell. And so I do have some pucks from that vintage AOS tallow sandalwood, and but I'm very glad that the Santal Absolut exists for when those run out. Oh man, just smells so good. Feels slick on my face. Secondary slickness is tremendous. This feels so good. Now, I suspected that the 30-second load was going to be way too much lather, and I was right. I'm about to put on my third pass, and I've probably got 4 passes of lather in this bowl here. This brush, I don't know if it's because I haven't used it in so long. It's kind of needs to warm up a little bit and get softer, but that Thader is softer than this guy. Sometimes comparisons can really suck because a favorite brush all of a sudden could just feel inferior. However, it's feeling good right now, and so if I wanted to, sell the Thader and just stick with this guy, which is like a fourth of the price, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. Besides that little Thader brush, man, that's so tiny. Come on. Awesome, but little bitty handle. This longer handle is much more ergonomic. I don't have to work it quite as hard when I'm building the lather, so lather comes together faster. All right, third pass. The razor is able to move across my skin like grease lightning. It is really that slick. It draws those kinds of images to mind. This is past the line where most guys will keep a razor blade. What is it? This is the 12th shave with it. But it's still doing great. Not tugging at all. Face feels good. Let's throw on a little bit right there, just because we've got tons of lather. And then switch my direction to what I feel usually gets this area done a little better. And there we go. All right. Gillette Platinum is a really enjoyable blade for me in so many razors. I mean, it may be that way for you. It may not work that way for you. Blades are just that subjective. I generated a little bit of irritation in my troll spot apparently yesterday. And so I'm dealing with that today. And so I'm not going to do any more to get this hair. I'm just going to leave it a little bit of length left on a good many tips right there. A lot of people might not even notice if they were farther than 5 feet away. And so it's still a good shave, but normally I would go ahead and hit that a little better. But today I'm going to leave it alone. And I want to go ahead and, while my face is still a little wet, put on the balm. Easier, less friction while spreading. I declare, it just smells like cherries and a little bit of wildness or spice to me. How about that? Well, I was just talking online with somebody today, and they also had a problem with the Stirling splashes, the alcohol-based splashes that Stirling has. To me, sometimes I find those a little jarring. My skin does. And so sometimes I'll get redness after a shave because of the alcohol splash. Maybe the intensity of the alcohol is a little bit more than average. Maybe the scent oils used a little bit stronger than my face likes, especially my freshly shaven face. If I wait a couple hours, it's fine. But so what I do is I mix a little witch hazel in with the aftershave splash to dilute it just a little bit into something that doesn't irritate me as much. And of course the witch hazel itself is really good for after the shave. I've enjoyed working with that. Yeah, a little redness from the other day. All right, face feels good though. It doesn't feel irritated. It only feels it when I'm working it with the razor. So like I said, we've got way tons of lather still, and it is very, most soaps do not get this elastic. I mean, look at that right there. Most soaps, if you get to this point, then it's really thin on your face. Not at all creamy. Your razor skips across your face because there's just, it's mostly water and the soap is kind of broken down. Well, not this stuff. Stirling is also very good, but not this stuff. It is tremendous. And I've got tons of it. If it didn't take so long to rinse my face, or if I was jumping in a shower right after this, I would definitely wash my face with this lather. It's just, it smells so great and it works really well. All right, and that, my friends, you can kind of feel me extolling over this soap. And so that is why it has earned a place in my tiny bathroom. It sits above, up on a shelf, so that if I just don't feel like choosing a soap that day, I can come in and grab one of my favorites of all time. Razor did great. I used about 3.5 teaspoons of water, but remember I did pour some into the bowl beforehand, so that's not exactly accurate as my usual is. Blade did wonderful. I think this, yeah, that's interesting. How is this balm doing? I think that works. I think that works together with the sandalwood. I wish their sandalwood splash didn't have the menthol with it. Otherwise I would have some of that after this type of shave because I want to keep that scent going. It's all right. My wife didn't really like the sandalwood scent anyway. Okay, excellent soap. Lather was terrific. And the brush started out probably because I didn't soak it for as long as usual. But by the end, it was feeling really nice and soft. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to keep bouncing back and forth, especially after austere August. We are getting closer. Today is the 29th. We have passed midnight now. So this is the 29th of July. So just two more shaves before austere August starts. How about that? All right, now I'm going to clean up. Just drop this on a towel after rinsing it out. Golden nib, sometimes abbreviated TGN. The golden nib. And I think it's either a 22 or a 24 Silvertip knot. And of course it's a 3-band because we have a thinner black band here with more white showing there. 3-band Silvertip, premium grade. A grade down is the grade A, and it just wasn't quite as soft. I did try it because I thought, you know what, at one point I thought this might be a little too floppy for me, and so I tried the grade A, but it wasn't any didn't have any more backbone, and so it was just not quite as soft. So I'll probably sell that one. But loving this guy, especially since I reined him in a little bit with that O-ring. Very, very nice. All right, just one of my favorites, really. Okay. So here's this platinum, and it can be a more expensive blade, but once you put 15 uses on them instead of 7 or 3, then all of a sudden price is really kind of out the window. Once you can easily get 30 on there, price is really out the window. You can buy just the most expensive blades out there and just enjoy them a lot. And so I'm really glad about these platinums, and it's just performing really well still at use number 12. We'll see how far he'll go. All right. All right, excellent shave. Face feels great. My nose has been massaged with that awesome scent. My face has felt that creaminess. The window of this soap to be hydrated really well and really slick and stay creamy is just big. And maybe that's why I love it so much. There are a lot of soaps out there that it's tricky to get right there, right before it stops being creamy and hydrated right up to that point. But with Fine, it's just easy. So Tobacco is another similar performing soap, but its smell can be a little polarizing for some. But we're good. We're good tonight. Privileged to use this soap. And you know what? I might see if I can get somebody to 3D print like a cover or something for this mug, just so that the scent doesn't leave it quite so quickly. I mean, no complaints, but I might do that. There may even be a design out there already. All right. I already told you all the awesome things about this shave, so we're good with that. I am Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope there was something here for you that helped you out. You take care. Good night.